Good day, I'm Albert Mulder. In this video, we will be reviewing the ESS timesheet module. The timesheet module allows you as an employee to record hours worked, as well as your line manager to have a view of those items and to approve it. Signing in as an employee into the ESS. We will navigate to the timesheet module. We'll start off with the capture screen of the timesheets. This is where an employee would be able to record hours that they have worked. Typically this is built around clients, projects and subtasks that you are allocating hours against. This can be done by selecting your client from the drop-down list, which will then load a list of sub-projects that you can select from. So in this case we will choose the development project and then any sub-items that relate to that project. And then by using the fields on the on the right hand side, So with your customers, programs and items selected, you can now fill in your hours for each day worked against those items. You can also put in a predetermined billable rate and also include a descriptor and then save the item, which will then allocate it to your entry for that week. Now timesheets are captured on a weekly basis and then submitted for approval by the line manager. Once this has been submitted, the manager will again receive an email notification. As a manager, we will sign into the ESS since we were prompted by the email that there is a task to attend to. So again, as with the other workflow items on the ESS, you will navigate to your inbox under tasks, and there you will see you have a task submitted by the employee. So a manager can then open up that timesheet task submitted by the employee and either approve or reject it, or also make changes to any one of the line items. Those changes are then captured in the order table at the bottom of the screen there to show where it has changed, who it was changed by, and when it was changed. And at this point, the manager can then decide to either approve or reject this timesheet item. It will then, depending on your workflow, be passed on to the next person to either approve or reject it, or the item can then be finalized at that point. Next, we will be logging in as an administrator of the system to give you an overview of the framework of the timesheet module. The timesheet framework is broken down by clients and sub-projects associated with the clients, and then also sub-items to each of those projects. If we're looking at our SmartCo example, you will have a list of items underneath it, and in this case we'll be looking at the project 1, and under that project 1 you have a list of sub-tasks. Those items are then available for the employee to select from, depending on if you have given those resources access to those projects and clients. You could also use the customer section under timesheets to keep track of your client information in terms of their company profile there, as well as the address details. And then with the address details that you have completed, you'd be able to plot that client's location within the map on the overview page. This becomes useful when you're managing your projects and you would also like to keep track of traveling and expenses against a particular project. As a manager, you would also be able to use the timesheet module to report on items that have already been submitted by the employees reporting to you. In this case, under the results tab, you can see that Charlie has already captured projects against the SmartCo company and the hours that he has captured. So again, as you always can, export this into Excel format. It will also allow you to put in certain date parameters if you'd like to extend your date range and apply that to your report filtering. We also have these dynamic pivot options, as you can see at the top there, to change the way this is displayed. And that again gives you some other options on how to report on those items already captured. It can be broken down by all the hours, only the billable hours, or non-billable hours. And a manager would also be able to keep track of any submissions, and especially areas where a timesheet has not been submitted yet. And they would be able to, from this window, send an SMS directly to the employee to prompt them to capture a timesheet. And as an employee that is capturing timesheets, you would be able to use the status tab to give you a view of the status of timesheets that you have already submitted, or if it is in fact not submitted yet, and if it has been granted or approved by the next person in the workflow. And that concludes our overview of the timesheet module.